Hey there, Coastin With Quayz fans. Official Coastin With Quayz merch is available now through Redbubble. Click the link in the description to get your merch today. Every purchase helps to support the channel, which means more coaster content. And now, on with the video. Welcome to another Coastin With Quayz coaster review. This is Mark, aka Quayz, and today I will be reviewing Grizzly at King's Dominion. Grizzly is a fantastic classic wooden roller coaster located at King's Dominion in Doswell, Virginia. It is situated towards the back of the park, and it is easy to miss due to it being tucked away. Grizzly's placement is actually kind of weird because you have to go through the Grizzly Gulch General Store in order to make it to Grizzly's ride entrance. I could see how some people might miss this one, but it is definitely worth the ride. So I hope people venture through the store to make their way to Grizzly when they visit King's Dominion. King's Dominion is home to 3 wooden coasters, Grizzly, Racer 75, and Woodstock Express. Although the other 2 coasters are half-decent rides, Grizzly is definitely the best wooden coaster in the park. Over the last couple of years, King's Dominion has done an extensive overhaul on Grizzly, making it as smooth and enjoyable as ever. So let's take a quick look at Grizzly's stats. Grizzly is located at King's Dominion in Doswell, Virginia. It was manufactured by Taft Attractions, but features trains by Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters. Its max height is 87 feet, and that first drop features an angle of descent of 55 degrees. The overall length is 3,162 feet. There's a top speed of 51 miles per hour. There are 0 inversions because it is a classic wooden coaster, and it opened in 1982 with a minimum height requirement of 48 inches. Let's jump into Grizzly's ride experience. The ride begins by exiting the station, making a 180-degree turn, and traveling up the lift hill. If you ride in the back of the train, the first drop may surprise you because you get yanked down the drop in the back seat. When I rode in the back, it felt like I was only 4/5 of the way up the hill when I began getting pulled down the drop. Next, you climb up into a turnaround, and this is where the ride really begins. After the second drop, you rise into the first airtime hill and get a small pop of airtime. Next, Grizzly enters a tunnel, and this is where you experience my favorite part of the ride, a high-speed ejector airtime hill. Every time that I rode Grizzly, no matter the seat, it felt as if I was standing up each time I went over this hill. As thrilling as this moment is, it was still incredibly enjoyable due to the care and maintenance of Grizzly's track. If I'm being honest, Grizzly is worth a ride simply for this ejector hill. After these first 2 airtime moments, Grizzly speeds up into its second turnaround, maintains good speed, and then drops into its next sequence of airtime moments. Both of these 2 airtime moments are slightly leftward turning, and although they do not provide as much airtime as the tunnel hill, they're still fun and provide some minor lateral forces in addition to airtime. As Grizzly races towards its finish, you rise up into its final turnaround. Normally, these turnarounds on wooden roller coasters tend to be boring and are simply a means to redirect the train to their next round of airtime hills, but on Grizzly, this hill still maintains speed and keeps a normally boring moment fun. To finish off the ride, the train descends after making the final turn, speeds over 2 more airtime hills, and pops up into the brake run. As soon as I hit the final brake, all I could think was, I want to do that again. That feeling is a rarity for me with wooden roller coasters, and I truly love wooden coasters, but many are really rough, and I can only handle so much of them. Grizzly is a perfect example of how good wooden roller coasters can be when they are taken care of and maintained. Grizzly is incredibly smooth for a wooden coaster. This smoothness allows you to truly take in all of Grizzly's elements, which are mostly airtime hills and turnarounds. Overall, the airtime on Grizzly is middle of the road, but that tunnel hill is absolutely insane and awesome. Although all the airtime is not crazy ejector airtime, I do not view that as a fault. I think that Grizzly would be a great stepping stone coaster for newer riders because its airtime is accessible and not too intense. Where Grizzly truly shines is in its pacing. It does not do anything truly unique with its layout, but its turnarounds are fast-paced and quickly get you back into the action of the airtime hills without losing momentum. The only turnaround that loses a little momentum is the first turn after the first drop, but that moment is so early in the ride that it does not take away from the overall experience. Rocky Mountain Construction, the coaster manufacturer that did an amazing job of transforming Twisted Timbers, the roller coaster that's adjacent to Grizzly in the park, is known for taking old wooden coasters, putting steel track on them, and completely transforming them into something different from what they were originally. Don't get me wrong, I love RMC and what they do to completely redesign wooden coasters instead of completely demolishing them. In fact, multiple RMC coasters would probably fall into the top 10 of my coasters. The point that I'm getting to is that with all of this RMC talk, RMC completely redesigns coasters, and for the most part, the original ride is lost. If that were to occur to Grizzly, I think that would be a disservice to the ride and the coaster community. If wooden coasters are cared for, they can be really good, and Grizzly is the proof of that. Great Coasters International, probably the most prominent wooden coaster manufacturer at the moment, unveiled their steel track alternative to traditional wooden coaster track known as Titan Track a few years ago. This track has been used to replace old wood track on rides such as the iconic Boulder Dash at Lake Compounce. Instead of completely altering the experience like RMC's iBox track, the Titan track has primarily been used to replace wood track while still providing the same experience, but simply making the structure last longer. I would love to see more parks hire GCI to install Titan track on their wooden coasters to make them smoother, more comfortable, and more enticing to riders. Wooden coasters are what got me into roller coasters, and I love the history surrounding them. They tend to lie in the shadow of more modern coasters because they lack the flashiness of many of the steel giants at parks today, but I think it is important for parks to honor the history of roller coasters and act as coaster ambassadors for younger riders to educate them on where coasters started and where they are now, while allowing them to experience both themselves. I could go on and on about why I think wooden coasters are important, but instead, all I will say is that if you go to King's Dominion, you should definitely ride Grizzly. For its final score, I will be giving Grizzly an 8 out of 10. Hopefully, a ride on this fantastic wooden coaster will inspire you to ride more of them. That's it for this coaster review. Let me know what you think of Grizzly, or if you know of some other wooden coasters that you think people should ride. If you liked what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, keep on coasting.